We usually picture these massive actions, these far-reaching shifts that accompany major choices and life-altering events when we speak about transforming our lives. Working with people for so long and seeing both their successes and failures has taught me something. The most significant things are not the most substantial. The tiny things, the habits, and the decisions we make on a daily basis are what really matter. You see, baby steps are the way to go if we want to make huge changes in our lives. This is due to the fact that little behaviors, which we tend to ignore or downplay, add up over time. I can assure you that the outcomes of combining efforts are quite remarkable. After you've been following these simple routines for a while, you won't even recognize your life. You will be living the life of your dreams when you glance around one day. If you've ever doubted that small things can make a big difference, take a closer look at your own life. Comment the number 6. If you want to discover how just 10 small changes can completely transform your life. The little details are the reason. Give this some serious consideration for a second. What if, by just altering just 10 routines, you could completely transform your life? Seems manageable, doesn't it? 10 minor items. Right now, you have the power to change your destiny by starting 10 simple tasks. Therein is the charm of routines. You won't need a miracle or a major change to your schedule to accomplish them. No matter where you are or what you have on hand, you may start them immediately. Thus, what exactly are these little routines? Incorporating them into your routine will alter the course of your life in irrevocable ways. What are they? Write this down because we're going to go through it all. Reading is the first habit. If you're like most people, you probably don't have time to read a book every day. Take careful note, however. A great habit you may cultivate is reading. And I'm not referring just any old reading here. What I mean is reading intentionally. A book that challenges you intellectually, broadens your perspective, and opens your eyes to fresh ideas and possibilities. The food you put into your brain is as vital as the food you put into your body. Listen, reading is more than simply a hobby for me. A portal opens up. As a result, fresh perspectives, ideas, and possibilities might flood in. Reading regularly provides your mind with information, insight, and understanding. The majority of individuals want to succeed and advance in life, but they aren't giving their brains the fuel they need. A keen mind, one that is always learning, expanding, and stretching, is necessary for success. Of all the ways to nourish your mind, reading is the most straightforward. This is how you should look at it. Holding a book in your hands is like taking a little bit of a person's brain, their ideas, their experiences, and their knowledge with you. What an impressive idea. Instead of wasting years trying to figure things out on your own, you can learn all you need to know in a matter of hours. Listen, I'm not advocating a daily reading regimen of 10 hours or more. Reading deliberately, even for only 10 or 15 minutes a day, builds up. Like interest in a savings account, such information multiplies over time. And it is this knowledge that affects your life, the compounding kind. It alters your perspective, alters your problem-solving abilities, and alters your attitude to difficulties. But that's not all. You need to pick and choose the books you read. There are books that aren't worth reading. Spending your valuable time on idle chatter is a waste. Pick out novels that will test your limits instead. That will broaden your perspective. It will provoke contemplation. Whatever you're looking for, whether it's biographies, self-help, or business strategy books, make sure it fits with your goals. Because the food you give your mind today will determine your future. What you think about now will determine what happens to you in the future. Therefore, make reading a deliberate part of your day. Plus, you'll see a shift in how you think, make choices, and live your life. What about the other 99%? What do they all have in common? Every day, they write in their journal. This is one of those routines that is underappreciated. There is a profound effect of putting ideas, aspirations, and desires on paper. As if by magic, it works. The act of putting pen to paper gives your ideas greater substance. They're no longer only a source of mental chaos and unease. On the contrary, they stand there before you, crystal distinct and physical. You feel more in charge after doing it. The issue or concept is now crystal clear to you. As soon as you become aware of it, you may begin to devise strategies to address or achieve it. Just like taking a deep breath, putting thoughts on paper helps clear your head. In the absence of a diary, what transpires? When you don't commit thoughts to paper, they tend to accumulate mental clutter. Exhaustion sets in when you carry around 1,000,000 ideas, concerns, goals, and thoughts in your head at all times. Everything is slipping through your fingers while your brain tries to cling on. But when you put pen to paper, you can clear your mind of all that mental baggage, comparable to organizing a cluttered room. All of a sudden, there's a sense of more order, clearer thinking, better planning, and a sharper focus on what's important are all within your reach. The time required is also minimal. Writing in a diary, even for only a few minutes every day, may have a profound effect. Allow me to provide an additional aspect of journaling. It is useful for monitoring your development. As time goes on, it's easy to lose sight of your progress and the things you've achieved. But when you commit to writing down your ideas and objectives on a frequent basis, you build a record of your progress. Moreover, I can assure you that nothing inspires more than reviewing past posts and reflecting on the growth you've experienced, the obstacles you've conquered, and the aspirations you've realized. So, take baby steps. Every day, carve out at least a half an hour to write. Neither its perfection nor its profundity are prerequisites. Simply let your ideas to flow. Your concentration, clarity, and development as an individual will begin to change. Establishing objectives is the next step. At that point, things start to become interesting. Someone is like a ship without sails if they don't have any objectives to aim towards. Yes, you are moving, but you are just floating. You're not living your best life because you're just following the wind. Aims point the way. They serve as a goal or aspiration for you to work toward. Plus, you cut out the fluff when you know exactly what you want out of life. On the contrary, you get closer to your goals with each and every choice, decision, and action you do. That is the strength of having objectives. The general public tends to associate goal setting with a certain occasion, maybe New Year's Eve. However, I would stress the importance of consistently creating goals for yourself. First thing in the morning, before you do anything else, ask yourself, what do I want to achieve today? If you could do just one thing today, what would it be? What would change your life? Make a note of it. That is your objective. Your intellect has now found its center of gravity. It has been assigned a task by you. You have no idea how much your mind appreciates a job. Then it will start working out a way to do it. Wait, there's more. Your objectives must be well-defined. Imprecise objectives produce ill-defined outcomes. I want to be successful and be in shape, but that isn't enough. What constitutes a successful outcome? Fitness, in your view, is, in other words, your efforts will be more targeted if you provide more detail. Divide your overarching objectives into more manageable sub-goals and then complete each sub-goal in turn. You won't believe how far you come in a short amount of time if you make this a practice of setting little, specific objectives every day. Make sure you're keeping track of your objectives, even if they seem little, since even little victories build up to big accomplishments. The next step is to nourish your intellect. What we must not overlook, however, is this: In addition, you need to fuel your body. Provide it with nutritious food. Some individuals really like exercising, while others try to avoid it at all costs. But believe me when I say it's a crucial habit to cultivate. Plus, being physically fit is just part of it. Of course, working out is good for your health. On top of that, it helps you become a better thinker. Your energy, concentration, and mood will all be lifted by it. By moving your body, you are sending a message to yourself that you are alive, competent, and powerful. And that way of thinking permeates your whole being. As you may be aware, your emotional and physical well-being are closely related. When you're physically and mentally fit, you're better able to deal with stress, think more clearly, and face obstacles with confidence and vigor. That is why it is really essential to make exercise a habit. By workout routine, I do not mean spending hours upon hours in a gym. Nothing too complex has to be done. Do whatever makes you feel good, whether that's a 20-minute stroll, some mild stretching, or some weight training. Consistency is crucial. A little bit here and there is preferable than a big bang once a week if you want to avoid burnout. Bonus point: working out has many additional benefits. Life is like this metaphor. Strength comes from overcoming adversity and carrying on when the going gets difficult. You learn to push through difficult times and not give up. You may take that lesson and apply it to whatever goal you have. Stick to your fitness routine every day. Do something that makes you feel good about moving your body every day. Aside from the obvious physical benefits, you will also notice an improvement in your mental clarity, concentration, and motivation to pursue your objectives. Thank you is up next. For some reason, people choose to ignore this practice as it seems too easy. Gratitude, however, is a practice that may change your life for the better. What you give your attention to grows. Guess what happens when you concentrate on the negative, the absent, and the lack of? It will be more abundant for you. However, you will begin to appreciate more and more things in your life if you direct your attention on the positive, the things that are working, and the things that you already own. The way you see things may alter the course of your whole life. Being grateful is much more than just feeling nice. Finding the silver lining in every cloud is the goal. You may train yourself to attract more wonderful things into your life by consistently focusing on the positive. It's almost magnetic. Being grateful alters your vitality. You begin to feel plentiful, satisfied, and pleased instead of irritated and wanting. Plus, while you're in that frame of mind, you're more receptive to new experiences, perspectives, and chances. Making thankfulness a regular practice. How? This is easy. Try to make time every day to think on the good things in your life. It needs not be substantial. Possibly it's only that you managed to get out of bed this morning. An encouraging remark from a friend may be it. It can be the warmth of the sun or the security of your home. Regardless of what it is, pause and enjoy it. Do your best to jot it down. A change in perspective will become apparent to you as time goes on. As you do, you will find more and more reasons to be thankful, and you will experience a life that is fuller, happier, and more plentiful. After that, relax. When we wake up in the morning, most of us don't stop until we're exhausted and dragging ourselves to bed, much like a zombie. The importance of rest has diminished in today's fast-paced society. We never stop moving, always looking forward to the next challenge and success. Wait, there's more. We die out if we don't take time to relax and recharge. Recharging, processing, and healing our brains and bodies need time apart. Avoid doing yourself any favors by not giving yourself enough rest and pushing yourself too hard. Really, you're not making the most of your abilities. While getting enough sleep is essential, rest encompasses much more. Taking a break from the hustle and bustle of everyday life is all about allowing oneself permission to be quiet and recharge. The key is to just let your thoughts roam, fantasize, and unwind. Have you ever noticed that the most brilliant ideas strike you when you're least expecting them? Imagine yourself in a peaceful place, such as a shower, a stroll, or even simply sitting quietly. Your mind needs space, and that's why. In order to make connections, find solutions, and ignite creativity, it requires those moments of calm. Our culture celebrates hard work and perseverance. Grinding, working 24/7, and being busy are buzzwords everyone is using. However, I have something to tell you. The amount of effort you put in is irrelevant. You're only as good as your effort. Knowing when to take a break, relax, and refuel is an important component of smart work. Even though it's a strong instrument, your brain requires rest in order to operate at its peak. Get adequate sleep every night, set aside time to relax, and take little breaks during the day. Make rest a priority in your routine. Getting enough sleep can enhance your productivity and general well-being. Relaxation is more than just not moving around. Allowing your body and mind to recuperate is the key. Maybe a peaceful stroll in nature or some introspective meditation are ways you get rest. Perhaps it's doing something you like or spending time with people you care about. Incorporate breaks into your regular schedule, whatever that may be. And this is the lovely thing. You become more powerful when you take a break. You have more mental clarity, more vitality, and more imagination than before. Rest is neither a sign of weakness or a luxury. So, you should not believe these myths. Getting enough sleep is essential, and it's also one of the best ways to accomplish what you set out to do. The following routine. Learning this was challenging. I used to be afraid I couldn't afford it, but now I really want to. Contributing is the next habit. This is the kind of behavior that has the power to improve the quality of life for others around you, as well as for yourself. You get more out of life if you give more, goes the ancient adage. Truthfully, albeit not in the manner that the majority perceives it. Look, there's more to giving than simply monetary gifts. What matters most is the gift of your time, focus, energy, and compassion. A life filled with plenty may be yours when you establish a pattern of giving to others. It's almost a natural rule. You attract more of what you put out into the world. But that's not all. When giving comes from a place of true generosity, there is no expectation of return. Doing good deeds without expecting anything in return gives you joy like no other. Also, this is what I've picked up along the years. It seems that those who give the most are also the ones who have the most. They are incredibly blessed with love, pleasure, and prosperity. Although monetary contributions are welcome, there are other ways to help as well. It's all about making a sacrifice of time, energy, and skills. Perhaps it's helping a buddy out when they're down, mentoring someone, or offering your time. Also, remember that giving to oneself is a kind of giving. You can't give what you don't have. In order to have more to offer other people, it is imperative that you attend to your own needs and nourish yourself. Something very remarkable will become apparent to you as you establish a practice of giving. Possibilities multiply in proportion to your generosity. It's almost as if the cosmos wants to thank you for all the value you're generating. Asking yourself, "What can I give today?" should be a regular part of your routine. In what ways might I improve the quality of someone else's life? And see how your own life starts to thrive as a result. The next step is to tune out distractions. One of those habits that may change your life and the lives of the people you care about most is listening. A lot of individuals like to think of themselves as excellent listeners. But deep down, all they're doing is waiting for their chance to speak. It takes talent to listen attentively. Your relationships with others around you may be transformed by adopting this behavior. Listening with respect is an admirable quality. When you treat another person with the respect they deserve, you demonstrate that you care about what they have to say and how they feel. Relationships are strengthened. Doors start to open. Wait, there's more. To listen is to do more than only audible speech. Grasping the concept is key. It's all about living in the here and now. Do more than just nod your head and plan your response while someone is speaking to you. End it. Take the time to listen carefully. Keep an eye on how they're expressing themselves non-verbally and vocally. When you do so, you'll notice that individuals are more forthcoming with their details. They put greater faith in you. Their opinion matters more to them. That's because they've received the priceless gift of your undivided focus. That is an invaluable commodity in this day and age of constant distraction. Listening is wonderful, and here it is. The other person isn't the only one it concerns. You gain wisdom when you listen often. More is learned. In some instances, you have a profound understanding of others. That comprehension is potent. In addition to improving your decision-making and problem-solving abilities, it also facilitates deeper, more meaningful connections with others. Therefore, make listening a habit now. Little effort is required. You will experience tremendous personal and professional success with only a little increase in concentration and deliberate action. After that, practice patience. We could all use more patience, but in reality, very few of us really do it. Ours is a society that values rapid satisfaction. We are eager for immediate achievement, tangible outcomes, and public acclaim. Actually, however, this is the reality. Patience is required for everything of value. It requires work. Patience is required. Additionally, you will discover that life is much less stressful and much more joyful if you can develop the practice of patience. People tend to give up too easily, you know. They give up before they have a chance to enjoy their hard work. However, those who are patient and persistent ultimately triumph. It takes time for good things to happen, and they are the ones who know it. Being patient does not entail doing nothing. Doing the same thing over and over again in the hopes that eventually something will change is what it means to be consistent. The key is to have faith in the journey itself, regardless of how slow it may seem. Keep in mind a seed. Soiling it is the next step. Soak it with water. You maintain it. However, at first glance, it seems as if nothing is occurring. No change can be seen. However, that seed is beginning to germinate under the surface. The roots are taking hold. It's getting ready to sprout from the ground up and become something lovely. That is the formula for success. You may not be able to see the fruits of your labor just yet, but they are already bearing fruit. Therefore, how can one cultivate the virtue of patience? Begin by changing your perspective. Pay attention to the big picture rather than anticipating short-term gains. Never forget that progress is gradual and that your current efforts will bear fruit in due time. And while you wait, delight in the journey. Rejoice in the little victories as you go along and have faith that you will reach your destination if you are patient and persistent. A superpower is patience, my friends. The ability to remain composed, focused, and dedicated during a difficult or lengthy trip is a hallmark of those who have mastered it. The next thing to do is to watch who you hang out with. You should make this a habit, since it is crucial. That much is old news to you. Your personality is shaped by the 5 individuals you spend the most of your time with. A person is shaped by their surroundings. It has an effect on your ideas, deeds, and beliefs. Surrounding oneself with pessimistic, narrow-minded individuals will make it very tough to overcome such obstacles. You will be lifted up by the energy of optimistic, ambitious, growth-oriented individuals if you surround yourself with them, inspiring you to improve, do more, and soar to new heights. I realize that this isn't always a picnic. Even longtime friends and family members aren't always the most positive role models. A decision must be made, however. You must be open to altering your surroundings if you want to transform your life. Choosing your companions with care is an important part of this. Find those who will encourage you, push you to your limits, and have faith in you. Those who share a commitment to personal development and progress. If you surround yourself with positive individuals, they will cheer you on when you're down and share in your joy when you're up. Let me tell you something. What other people can do for you isn't the only thing that matters. Your contributions are equally important. Try to be someone that others can look up to. Motivate other people to reach their full potential by being an exemplary friend, co-worker, or mentor. Amazing things may happen when you put yourself in the company of like-minded individuals and do your very best to every task you take on. Collaborative growth occurs when ideas flow and possibilities present themselves. See who you're surrounding yourself with. Do you feel like the people in your life are guiding you toward your goals? If that isn't the case, maybe adjustments are in need. Because the things around you have the power to boost your spirits or dampen them. Which one it is entirely up to you to decide. Let me tell you something. These 10 seemingly little behaviors may alter your life in ways you can't even begin to fathom. It's not necessary to be flawless. It's all about taking baby steps, tweaking your routine here and there, and being consistent. The cumulative effect of those little routines will become apparent once some time has passed. Plus, you won't even notice how drastically your life will change from where it is now. The impact of little habits should not be underestimated. Begin right now. Incorporate the remaining habits into your daily routine, even if it's just one. Prepare to be amazed by the profound impact it has on your life.